Leeds United are ticking along very nicely this season so far, getting the points when they need to. Occasionally we'll drop a few, but we're basically okay. So it's very, very easy to feel comfortable for many Leeds fans at the minute. But I had a little bit of a think earlier, and we really, really need to hope that there is a good amount of behind-the-scenes work going on right now, because Leeds United are sitting on a little bit of a ticking time bomb. Now, to be completely clear, it's not as dramatic as it might seem. I'm being a little bit exuberant on this one, but it's something that is potentially a very big problem if we don't do anything to solve it. It needs to be sorted out. This isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have a number 10. No. If we don't fix this, bad. But also, whilst you're here, subscribe, and I'll also talk about good things. But as always, we know that the fullback positions are fairly shallow in depth. This is sort of the core of the issue because, again, fullbacks relatively rare, and a lot of clubs don't use them. They'll just use wide midfielders instead and play three at the back, so it's a little bit complex. And you look at our specific fullbacks, and we get potential issues in that conversation. So we know Junior Firpo is, as of late, a little bit suspension-y. He's a little bit 5 yellow cards and then a little bit give a Millwall player a headbutt off camera. Not ideal, but we move. He's all right when he's on the pitch. That's sadly a little bit rarer than we want it to be at the minute. In addition to that, Sam Byram can be fairly injury-prone. We saw that in his time at Norwich, his time before that, which means that I don't know if you can rely on him for extended periods of a season. We could last season, but he did get a couple of knocks, and that could be a risk. And then, as we all know, Isaac Schmidt is weird. Is he a fullback? Is he a winger? Is he a midfielder? We don't know yet. And I feel like this depth is soon to worsen because I had a look at a little bit of detail around Leeds United at the minute, and we've got a little bit of contract expiry going on at the end of the season. This is specifically relating to two Leeds United players with expiring contracts, and they are our only two players that have contracts expiring at the end of the season outside the players that we've got on loan. And that's Sam Byram, that's Junior Firpo. Both of whom will be very, very complex conversations to have. So Sam Byram, for example, came into Leeds United with everyone saying, is he the right choice? I mean, he came through our academy, brilliant. He's a homecoming kid or whatever. And sure, he held out through last year, but I don't think any of us reasonably see him as a starter week in, week out. In the event that we go up, what goes on with him? And outside of that, we've got Junior Firpo to consider, who, in his first couple of seasons at Leeds United, he was under Bielsa for a bit, but he was injured for that, and then Marsh, and then everyone all at the same time because we had 1,000 managers in that period, and he looked crap. But for the past, do a bit of maths, 16 months, Firpo's genuinely looked like a very, very good, serviceable left-back that can do great wing-backy things, and his defensive positioning is also improving. And if both of those players have their contracts expire at the end of the season, then we've got potentially very, very, very big problems. And we need to talk about what the options are in that case. Because obviously it's not a, no matter what, we're screwed, we're out of fullbacks. It's a, we have to have conversations about what's going on here. So, for example, we need to talk contract renewals. In the case of Sam Byram, do we realistically want to give him a renewed contract in the event that we're in the Premier League? Probably not. Even in the Championship, it's a little bit of a risk because by that point he'll be, 32, 33? For a footballer, that's getting on a bit. Admittedly, for any other job, it's not, but any other job, you're not basically doing half marathons a couple of times a week. So that throws Sam Byram into a little bit of a question, and Junior Firpo, that's another question, where he has said in the past that he's got a little bit of a hankering for Real Betis. It's where he started his career before he went to Barcelona, and he looked incredible there, and he was incredible there. Very, very good player. And that version of Junior Firpo is just starting to come out at Leeds United. It's just a question of, can we get him to stay out at Leeds United and get him to stay here and continue that little bit of growth, that little redemption arc with Leeds United, or is he going to likely go to Real Betis on a free? A very, very confusing one. And let's be honest, I don't know if he's going to stick around if we're in the Championship, if we get promoted. I don't know if he'd be worthy of the wages or if we need to sign a replacement anyway. And on that note, signing new players. There's been a lot of talk around, I think it's Ghent, that Archie Brown plays for. He's a left-back, very, very good left-back. I might be signing him on my Football Manager save. I've not decided that quite yet, but I'm going to have an eye out for him. On that note, I'm doing a lot more Football Manager streams out of the international break, so see if I'm live and pop along if so. But anyway, someone like an Archie Brown isn't necessarily a bad signing, but he's a signing that we only get in the Premier League. At the moment, we are restricted by the fact that we're a Championship club, and a lot of the targets that we want to get in, we can't, because we're not of the level for that. Which makes things really complicated, because when you've got a Chelsea and a Newcastle and a Man United floating around him, why is he going to come to us? When the Premier League has more money, more exposure, everything. That's where things are quite confusing, I think. But on the subject of signing new players, I admit it does depend entirely on where we are. If we're in the Championship, things are almost impossible. You might be relying on loans. If you're in the Premier League, vastly easier, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money. Either way, we need at least 2 fullbacks next summer, I think. Because you also need to talk in terms of quality. Isaac Schmidt isn't trusted as a fullback right now at Championship level, and let's be honest, he probably is at the very least Championship level, but we don't know about the Premier League. Jayden Bogle, last time he was in the Premier League, had a bit of a stinker. Pulled apart week in, week out. Same for Junior Firpo last time we were up there. Sam Byram, decent player at the moment. Decent enough level. What's going on with something under my eye? It's that one. That's fun. Decent enough level, but I don't know whether that translates effectively to the Premier League at the moment. So either way, we need to make some signings. It's just who's going to be the depth behind those. That's why I think we're on a little bit of a ticking time bomb at the minute, because if we just sit here and don't diffuse it, then we're going to get to next April, have Schmidt and Bogle as our 2 under contract fullbacks, and it doesn't matter what league we're in. We're going to need to have a little bit of a scramble. And that's assuming that we're not forced into selling players in other key positions that distracts us again, which would be a nightmare. Let's be honest, that's not what we need. By the end of the day, that is just what I think. As always, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not yet. That's always really appreciated, and you could even become a channel member. Cheeky little bit of news that I've not mentioned in a video yet. Channel members, you might know the Balls Knowledge series that I'm doing, where I'm doing a quiz with a bunch of creators. For every episode of that going forwards, I'm going to include at least 1 channel member to sort of see how my community stacks up against the best of Leeds United YouTube. Please do well. But if you think you would do well, be a channel member, ping me a comment on a video saying that you're interested in. That'd be lovely. Either way, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, channel member, all the fun stuff. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Also, if you're smart, please come into the Football Manager streams. I'm an idiot. I don't know who to sign. It's going to be a really